Hello, Anupam sir. 1 second, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
यस अभी आवाज आ रही
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Actually, on नहीं किया था माइक इसलिए. Okay.
है ओके ठीक
Okay.
है
Okay, sir. हेलो चिमोटे सर, आपका ना वो मोबाइल का ऑडियो ऑन नहीं है सर. मोबाइल का आपका हेडफोन स्पीकर ऑन नहीं है, इसीलिए नहीं आवाज आ रहा सर. कुछ नहीं आवाज आ रहा.
हेलो
मैं इसको फोन करके बोल देता हूँ.
अभी हाँ अभी आ रहा है अभी आ रहा है आवाज हाँ अब आ रहा है आवाज मोबाइल वाला हेलो। हेलो।
हेलो चिमोटे सर। ऐसा क्यों दिखा? अच्छा सर। अच्छा। हाँ सर, ये वाला डाला था, एक सेकंड। तो सर मैं आपको आपका व्हाट्सएप, यस सर, यही वाला डाला था सर। मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप में सर और एक लिंक भेजता हूँ सर, उससे आप ज्वाइन कर लीजिए सर। मैं आपको पैनलिस्ट का ऑथोरिटी दे देता हूँ सर, इमीडिएट। वो डायरेक्ट आपका ले जाएगा सर। आप आपको दोनों में, मैं दोनों में भेज देता सर, मेल में भी व्हाट्सएप में। ओके सर।
Thapa, hello.
Yes ma'am, let's start the program. First, for the first presentation, kindly ask Anupam sir to make the presentation. In the meanwhile, we will try to connect with Chimote sir for the next presentation.
Okay. Namaskar and good morning. Welcome to second day of 3 online training program on disaster management jointly organized by National Institute of Disaster Management, Ministry of Home Affairs and IPSHEM ONGC Goa. Myself, Dr. Harjeet Kaur, working in GMR division NIDM, and I will be the moderator of today's session. In today's session, we will be joined by Dr. R.S. Chimote, Chief Scientist and ACSIR Academy Professor, Fire Research Laboratory, Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee; Sri Anupam Srivastava, Commandant from 5 Battalion, NDRF; Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh, Joint Advisor, NDMA; and Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Chandra Vasista, JD, NIDM. He will be who will be providing a detailed insight in the theme of today's session. Emergency response is the phase of disaster management cycle that often attracts the most attention and resources. During this phases, our National Disaster Response Forces has proved in the realm of disaster response and disaster risk reduction. To enlighten more in this topic, we have with us Sri Anupam Srivastava, Commandant from 5 Battalion NDRF. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I would like to thank for giving me this opportunity to present the case of the NDRF. Basically, in today's presentation, I would like to focus on the response part of the NDRF, especially in the case of the petroleum sector and in general in CBRN emergencies. Before that, going in the other slides, I would like to present few slides which just shows the glimpse of the magnitude of the petroleum sector in India. As you can see that India produced 35.68 metric tons of crude petroleum in 2017 and 18, and it accounted for almost 1% of world oil production in 2016 to 2018. Just wanted to show this slide to have a idea of the magnitude of the largeness of the petroleum sector in India. And accordingly, we can treat the emergencies which are going to happen in India. Hello. Okay, right. Before that, I would like to mention 6 major industrial disasters which happened in India. इससे हमको एक आइडिया लगेगा कि हम हमारे इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर्स में किस प्रकार के एक्सीडेंट्स होते हैं और मेनली उसमें कितना नुकसान होता है, व्हाट आर द प्रोबेबल कॉजेस of these disasters. Way back in 1944, there was a Bombay docks explosion in which around 1,500 people were killed. और उसके साथ ही प्रॉपर्टी को बहुत नुकसान हुआ था और बहुत सारे शिप्स को नुकसान हुआ था, एनवायरमेंट को नुकसान हुआ था. इसमें बेसिकली द मेन कॉज ऑफ दिस डिजास्टर वाज दैट द शिप वाज कैरिंग कॉटन बेल and in the ground floor of that ship the explosives was stored. तो किसी तरह से कॉटन बेल्स में आग पकड़ ली और उसकी वजह से वो आग एक्सप्लोसिव में पहुंच गई और जिसकी वजह से ये बहुत बड़ा एक्सप्लोजन हुआ था और बहुत बड़ी दुर्घटना हुई थी. उसमें भी आप एक कैजुअलनेस और या यू कैन से दैट द सुपरविजन या सुपरवाइजरी अथॉरिटी वाज नॉट at all alert or they were casual. That's why this happened. And again, next thing was the Chasnala mining disaster in 1975, जिसमें कि माइन में काम करने वाले करीब 700 कार्मिक फंस गए थे. इसमें पहले they found a leakage of I think methane gas, and thereafter the water rushed in from the adjacent river इन द माइंस. सभी के सभी 700 लोग उसके अंदर ट्रैप हो गए थे और उनकी बॉडी भी बाद में रिकवर नहीं हो पाई. और तीसरे नंबर पे भोपाल गैस ट्रेजेडी, इसको हम सब जानते हैं क्या हुआ था. इसमें भी मिथाइल आइसोसाइनेट के चैम्बर में वाटर पानी घुस गया था जिसकी वजह से इतना बड़ा हादसा हुआ था जिसमें 4000 लगभग ऑफिशियल फिगर है. परंतु अगर आप इफ यू टॉक द अदर NGOs or other people, they will claim the death number was around 25,000 to 30,000. लेकिन उसको और ज्यादा बताने की जरूरत नहीं. ऑल यू नो दिस. द नेक्स्ट थिंग इज जयपुर ऑयल डिपो फायर, इसमें कि 12 डेथ हुई थी और मैसिव डैमेज हुआ था. कोरबा चिमनी कोलैप्स, इसमें से एक चिमनी वो अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन एंड फेल.
एक्सक्यूज मी सर.
यस प्लीज.
सर आप क्या पीपीटी शेयर कर रहे हैं सर?
पीपीटी शेयर कर तो रहा हूँ लेकिन फिर भी देख लेता हूँ एक बार. शायद नहीं है पीपीटी.
नहीं मिला सर. पीपीटी एक्चुअली आपका डिस्प्ले नहीं हो रहा सर.
ओके जस्ट.
यस सर. यस सर.
तो मैं बात कर रहा था कि कोरबा चिमनी कोलैप्स, जिसमें से एक अंडर कंस्ट्रक्शन चिमनी, there were around 100 workers, those who were taking shelter in a temporary shed fell on that shelter and उसमें 40 लोग मारे गए थे और मटेरियल्स का काफी नुकसान हुआ था. जिसके बाद में ये पाया गया कि जो मटेरियल which were being used or utilized in the construction of that chimney was of poor quality. And secondly, the proper supervision was not there. And the latest is the Vizag gas leak 2020. Fortunately or unfortunately, I was a part of the expert team which attended Vizag gas leak, and there were around 13 deaths and 350 cattle were also found died in this gas leak. इसमें भी जो हमने पाया, इसमें कंपनी की तरफ से सुपरवाइजरी अथॉरिटी जो थी, मॉनिटरिंग अथॉरिटीज जो थी, उनका प्रॉपर मॉनिटरिंग नहीं था. सुपरवाइजरी अथॉरिटी कैजुअल थी. बहुत सारे लैप्सेस थे जिसकी वजह से ये हादसा हो गया. ये सब बताने के पीछे मकसद या उद्देश्य ये है कि इन कमियों से बेसिकली हमारे जो सामने डिजास्टर्स हुए हैं वो हो पाए. इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में, स्पेशली पेट्रोलियम सेक्टर में, जो मेन थ्रेट होता है वो आप जानते ही समझते होंगे, दैट आर फायर, एक्सप्लोजन्स, टॉक्सिक और केमिकल रिलीज, ट्रांसपोर्ट एक्सीडेंट जिसकी वजह से कि गैस और ऑयल स्पिल हो सकता है, नेक्स्ट इज ऑयल स्पिल्स बाय एनी मींस, और इम्प्रॉपर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट। अभी आपने अमोनियम क्लोराइड का सुना था, उसमें जो हुआ था वो भी इम्प्रॉपर वेस्ट मैनेजमेंट था, ठीक से उसको स्टोर नहीं किया गया था। अच्छा, कॉमन कॉजेज ऑफ एक्सीडेंट्स, जो कॉमन कॉज जो उसको जनरलाइज करके अगर हम बात करें तो these are the following main common causes of accident, which is the aging of process. Companies are not taking adequate steps to update their technologies, absence of SOP or not rehearsing the SOPs, human errors, obviously the casualness, defects in design, running machinery हो गई है, machineries are old, they are not updated, poor coordination between different departments. बहुत बार ऐसा होता है कि there is not proper communication between the one department and the other department of the same company. That's why the communication could not happen and the accident or the disaster took place. Natural disaster obviously Japan triple disaster आप सब जानते हैं, जिसमें कि सुनामी, then earthquake, then nuclear reactor blast, irregular and improper maintenance and accidents in transportation, जिससे कि लीकेज ऑफ गैस, ऑयल स्पिल्स आदि होते हैं। डिग्रीज ऑफ डिजास्टर अगर हम इसको कैटेगराइज करें तो बेसिकली दो तरह के डिजास्टर आप मान सकते हैं। आप जानते हैं कि ऑन साइट डिजास्टर क्योंकि विद इन फैसिलिटी होता है, विद इन कंपनी होता है, जिसको कि आप मैनेज कर सकते हैं, बट इट व्हेन इट गोज बियॉन्ड द लिमिट्स ऑफ द टेरिटरी ऑफ द कंपनी देन इट बिकम द ऑफ साइट डिजास्टर। दीज आर द टू कैटेगरी। Now come to the disaster management. All these things everybody knows it. That preparedness, mitigation, response, and recovery. Today I am going to talk mainly on the response of on the part of the NDRF and a little bit of the preparedness and mitigation part. कंपनीज में या इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर में खतरों को कम करने के लिए बेसिकली ये चीजों को कैटेगराइज किया है, मैंने लिस्ट किया है। डिजाइन एंड प्री मॉडिफिकेशन रिव्यू, हमेशा कंपनी की जो मशीनरीज है, जो सिस्टम है, जो प्रोसेसिंग है, उसको रिव्यू करते रहना चाहिए और लेटेस्ट टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ उसको इक्विप करना चाहिए। अगर केमिकल यूज हो रहा है तो उसका रिस्क असेसमेंट हमेशा होना चाहिए। सेफ्टी मैनेजमेंट, वो प्रोसेसिंग ठीक होनी चाहिए, सेफ्टी ऑडिट्स होने चाहिए। एसओपी जरूर होनी चाहिए। देयर मस्ट बी एन एसओपी इन एवरी फैसिलिटी, एवरी कंपनी, एंड दैट मस्ट बी रिहर्स्ड फ्रीक्वेंटली, at least as per the direction of the government. There are the guidelines that there should be once in a 6 month there should be online mock drills, and once in a year there should be offline off-site mock drills. Proper escort and safety of transport. While we are sending some store to the other place, there should be a proper escort, safety management of the transport, proper storage. There should not be a mismanagement or mis-storage of the waste management. There should be waste management. Public awareness. इस चीज को इसको क्यों मैं कहना चाह रहा हूँ पब्लिक अवेयरनेस? What I found in the styrene gas leak in the Visakhapatnam, Vizag, the people which were residing around the facility, around the company, were not knowing about the precautions to be taken in the case of any leakage of the gas. इसकी वजह से वो एक्शंस नहीं ले पाए जो कि उनको लिए जाने थे। उसकी वजह से 12 लोगों की मृत्यु हुई। तो ये पब्लिक अवेयरनेस भी होना बहुत जरूरी है इन द विसिनिटी एज वेल एज इन द जनरल पब्लिक। पेट्रोलियम और नेचुरल गैस रेगुलेटरी बोर्ड की तरफ से बहुत सारे एक्ट्स एंड रूल्स हैं जिसको कि हमको देखना चाहिए और उसको समय समय पर उसका पालन किया जाना चाहिए। मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज की तरफ से भी ये मैन्युफैक्चर, स्टोरेज एंड इंपोर्ट ऑफ हैजर्डस केमिकल रूल्स 1989 है। केमिकल एक्सीडेंट्स, इमरजेंसी प्लानिंग, प्रिपेयरनेस एंड रिस्पांस रूल्स भी हैं। अगर हम देखें तो रूल्स, देयर आर प्लेथरा ऑफ रूल्स, कॉम्प्लेक्स वेब ऑफ रूल्स आर देयर, लेकिन जो प्रॉपर द थिंग व्हिच इज रिक्वायर्ड इज टू प्रॉपर मॉनिटर इट एंड इम्प्लीमेंटेशन ऑफ दोज रूल्स। जनरली इसी में चूक होती है और हादसे होते हैं। एक चीज मैं आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि this is a sort of thing. Disaster is a reality in the petroleum industry. Negligence or misfortune can so easily result in devastating consequences. But in disaster का consequence उन लोगों पर जो इसको झेलते हैं या जिनके ऊपर बीतती है वो irreparable है और उसकी कीमत कभी भी चुकाई नहीं जा सकती। इस चीज को अगर हम हमेशा ध्यान में रखें तो हम डिजास्टर या इमरजेंसीज से बच सकते हैं। नाउ कमिंग टू द रिस्पांस पार्ट। रिस्पांस पार्ट में आप जानते हैं कि नोडल मिनिस्ट्री केमिकल, डिजास्टर और इंडस्ट्रियल एक्सीडेंट्स के लिए मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज, इसको एयरमार्क डिनोमिनेट किया गया है। सभी तरह के हादसों को जो कि इंडस्ट्रियल या औद्योगिक क्षेत्रों से जुड़े हुए हैं ये डील करते हैं। मैं भारत सरकार के स्तर पर बात करूं कि रिस्पांस सेक्टर में और प्रिपेयरनेस और मिटिगेशन क्षेत्र में उन्होंने क्या किया है, तो नोडल मिनिस्ट्री किसी भी इमरजेंसीज के लिए, अगर हम बात करें CBRN या केमिकल सेक्टर के लिए, तो नोडल मिनिस्ट्री मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ एनवायरनमेंट, फॉरेस्ट एंड क्लाइमेट चेंज नॉमिनेटेड है, एयरमार्क्ड है। NDMA नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट अथॉरिटी was established in 2005, जो कि सभी प्रकार के भारत में डिजास्टर्स को देखती है। इसी तरह के सिमिलर ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस स्टेट्स में जो कि SDMA है, डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स में DDMA है, ये एस्टेब्लिश किए गए हैं। नेशनल लेवल पर नेशनल डिजास्टर रिस्पांस फोर्स का गठन किया गया है और उसको किसी भी तरह के डिजास्टर और इम्पेंडिंग डिजास्टर में रिस्पांस करने के लिए ट्रेन किया गया है। NDRF units are geographically located in the areas which are prone to frequent disasters to facilitate immediate and prompt response. Various guidelines has been issued to the states. Apart from this, National Institute of Disaster Management has been established to train personnel of various organizations, including CPOs, including CDOs, Civil Defense Organization, State Police Forces, और other agencies. National Disaster Mitigation Resource Centers पूरे भारत में जगह जगह पर बनाए गए हैं। ये सब स्टेप्स हैं इंडस्ट्रियल डिजास्टर को मैनेज करने के लिए, उनको रोकने के लिए, उनमें रिस्पॉन्स करने के लिए। Large number of hospitals in various cities are earmarked to deal with the patients of CBRN emergencies or patients of industrial disasters. NDRF units जो है वो सिविल डिफेंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, सेंट्रल पुलिस ऑर्गेनाइजेशन, होम गार्ड, वेरियस स्टेट पुलिस, फायर सर्विसेज, इन सब के इंडस्ट्रियल सेक्टर्स, इन सब के साथ ज्वाइंट मॉक ड्रिल्स करती है, जिससे कि हमारा SOP का रिहर्सल होता है। फायर सर्विसेज, स्टेट पुलिस, होम गार्ड्स को भी अवेयर किया जा रहा है। दे आर बीइंग अवेयर अबाउट व्हाट एक्शन टू बी टेकन इन द केस ऑफ एनी इमरजेंसीज। ऑन साइट और ऑफ साइट मॉक ड्रिल्स हर 6 महीना और 12 महीने में की जा रही है। इसमें NDRF डिफरेंट फैसिलिटीज के साथ, डिफरेंट इंस्टीट्यूशंस के साथ और डिफरेंट कंपनीज के साथ कर रहे हैं हम लोग लगातार। इसके साथ ही NDRF कम्युनिटी अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम चलाती है और जगह जगह पर जाकर लोगों को केमिकल इमरजेंसीज और अदर प्रकार की जो इमरजेंसीज होती है उनके बारे में बताते हैं और ये बताते हैं कि ऐसे मौके पर क्या एक्शन लिए जाने चाहिए। नेशनल लेवल पर अगर बात करें हम तो नेशनल डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट स्ट्रक्चर जो भारत में वो 3 लेवल पर है, जिसको 3 टियर स्ट्रक्चर बोलते हैं। नेशनल लेवल पर, स्टेट लेवल पर और डिस्ट्रिक्ट लेवल पर। इसके अंदर डिफरेंट एजेंसीज हैं जो कि आप देख सकते हैं। अगर हम बात करें एनडीआरएफ की, तो एनडीआरएफ को डीएम एक्ट, डिजास्टर मैनेजमेंट एक्ट 2005 के चैप्टर 8 के तहत स्पेशलिस्ट फोर्स के रूप में बनाया गया है, और ये फोर्स is trained and equipped to respond in any case of any type of disasters or impending disaster in India and abroad. There are total 12 battalions so far in India which are deployed pan India, and these locations are geographically located so that NDRF team can promptly respond in the case of disasters or emergencies. Apart from these 12 battalions, there are 28 regional response centers. These regional response centers are the part of the unit of the battalion, and they are fully equipped and trained to respond in case of any disaster, including chemical disasters. So in this way, there are 40 centers where NDRF teams are located and are ready to respond. Now, if we talk about the strength of NDRF in case of responding in industrial emergencies, so there are 12 battalions, as I have already mentioned, and in each battalion there are 3 companies, and in each companies there are having 3 teams. So in this way, there are total 108 CBRN teams are available, which are ready or equipped and trained to respond in case of any CBRN disasters in general, and in special there are 108 teams to respond in chemical emergencies specifically. इन डिजास्टर्स और इमरजेंसीज में रिस्पॉन्ड करने के लिए एनडीआरएफ को विभिन्न तरीके के इक्विपमेंट के साथ इक्विप किया गया है। इन इक्विपमेंट्स को वी हैव कैटेगराइज these equipments into 3 parts, that is the personal protective equipment, the second is the detection equipment, and third is the decontamination equipment. Now let us talk about these equipments categorically. If we talk about the protection equipment, then we are having different type of permeable, impermeable suits like Mark 5, avalanche suit, chemical suits, and other type of suits. And these are the accessories of these suits like face mask, respirator, self-contained breathing apparatus, and other things, which are the part of those suits. We are having different type of detection equipment. A few of them I have mentioned here: water poison detection kit, LCD 3.3, which can detect chemical warfare agent and toxic industrial chemicals; RVD residue weapon detection kit that can also detect chemical warfare agents and other toxic agents; multi-ray plus Raman spectrometer, that is a mobile laboratory; gas alert, which can detect combustible gas, hydrogen sulfide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, chlorine, oxygen, like this; hazardous gas vapor identifier is another equipment. Now come to decontamination equipment. We are having different type of decontamination equipment: impermeable decontamination suit, personal decontamination kit, PPDU, portable decontamination apparatus. We also conduct or operate in the case of vehicle decontamination. Apart from these equipment, we are having one CBRN surveillance vehicle. This is a specialized vehicle जो कि एक मोबाइल लेबोरेटरी है। इसमें different type of sensors हैं which can detect different type of chemicals, different type of gases, and even radiological materials, matters. इसमें आप जो आप देख रहे हैं ये केबिन है, केबिन में आप बैठ के बाहर से सेंसर से अंदर रीडिंग ले सकते हैं. This is a CBRN surveillance vehicle. And another vehicle of this is a hazmat vehicle, hazardous material detector vehicle. वो भी हमारे पास है, क्योंकि हमारे रिस्पांस में काम आता है. और एनडीआरएफ में अगर हम लेटेस्ट बात करें तो एनडीआरएफ ने विभिन्न इमरजेंसीज में पार्टिसिपेट किया है, ऑपरेशन कंडक्ट किया है. लेटेस्ट इज एलजी पॉलीमर्स, जो कि 7 मई 2020 को विशाखापट्टनम में स्टायरिन गैस लीक हुई थी, जिसमें भी हमने रिस्पॉन्ड किया था. आपने सबने जापान ट्रिपल डिजास्टर सुना होगा. इसमें एनडीआरएफ की टीम conducted an operation and rescued many lives there. Few of the photographs of Japan triple disaster. Actually, this Japan, why we call it Japan triple disaster, because इसमें सुनामी आई थी. सुनामी के बाद अर्थक्वेक हुआ था, जिसकी वजह से न्यूक्लियर रिएक्टर था उसमें इलेक्ट्रिक सप्लाई रुक गई थी. जनरेटर रूम था बेसमेंट में, वो पानी भर गया था, जिसकी वजह से रिएक्टर का टेम्परेचर बढ़ने से वो ब्लास्ट हो गया था. तो रेडियोलॉजिकल डिजास्टर भी था उसमें. मुंबई में 2010 में क्लोरीन गैस लीकेज है, जिसको कि हमने इसमें ऑपरेशन किया था. इसके साथ साथ ऑपरेशन कंडक्ट करने के साथ साथ एनडीआरएफ कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग के भी काम करती है, और विभिन्न एजेंसियों के साथ लाइक डिफरेंट पेट्रोलियम, different companies of petroleum sector and other industries, उनके साथ हम काम करते हैं. ऑयल रिफाइनरीज हुआ है, उनके साथ समय समय पर हम कॉन्फ्रेंस करते हैं और एसओपी को रिहर्स करते हैं, जिससे कि हमारी कैपेसिटी बिल्डिंग होती है. हमारी इन द सेंस एनडीआरएफ की एज वेल एज द अदर सेक्टर आल्सो. एनडीआरएफ कंडक्टेड CBRN mock exercises with the following stakeholders: NDMAs, SDMAs, with the railways, metros, various MH units, public sector units, school and colleges, at the different airports. And a few of them are, we have conducted mock drill exercise with the Bharat Forge, Mundua, SHV Energy Private Limited, Belapur, Mumbai. Now, capacity building and mock exercise by NDRF, other sectors will Indian form, HP gas, another IOCL Chakan Pune. In this mock exercises, different agencies participate, like fire services, and employees of the company, and CRPF, RAF, local police. So this is a type of mock exercises including all the stakeholders. Here are the photographs. These are few of the details. How much mock exercises we have conducted in the previous years. Community awareness program, we also conduct community awareness programs. You can see, not in the CBRN emergencies, apart from that also in the flood water rescue, earthquake scenario, in landslide scenario, radiological emergencies, in railway accidents, other type of emergencies, we also conduct community awareness program. We also have regional cooperation with the other organizations and other countries like SAARC, BIMSTEC, SCO, and we have conducted exercises or workshops with these organizations. Now something to ponder upon. कुछ चीज आप सोचें कि क्या ऐसा हमको इसकी जानकारी है क्या? Do we have information or intelligence channel in industries manufacturing, storing, transporting, importing hazardous chemical? कि इन केमिकल्स या इनकी प्रिकर्सर्स की अगर किसी ने पिलफरेज किया है या चोरी हो गई है, क्या हमारे पास कोई ऐसा सिस्टम है कि हम इसको पता लगा सके? अगर है तो उस पर अगर कोई टेररिस्ट अटैक होता है नेचुरल डिजास्टर्स के अलावा मैन मेड डिजास्टर या मैन मेड इमरजेंसी भी क्रिएट की जा सकती है। उससे निपटने के लिए क्या हमारे पास कोई साधन है या हमारी क्षमताएं वैसी हैं, ये हम सोचा जा सकता है। और ये जो मैंने बताया कि इसके अलावा हम कितने सचेत हैं, हम कितने अवेयर हैं, क्या हमको ये मालूम है कि हमारे घर के आसपास या ऑफिस के आसपास के 5 किलोमीटर या 8 किलोमीटर के रेडियस में कोई ऐसी इंडस्ट्री है, कोई ऐसी फैक्ट्री है जो कि टॉक्सिक केमिकल्स को, टॉक्सिक मटेरियल को यूज कर रही है। अगर कर रही है तो उसकी प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स क्या है, क्या हम इतने अवेयर हैं, क्या हमने अपने आसपास की पब्लिक को इस बात से अवेयर किया है। ये सब सारी चीजें सोचने वाली हैं जिससे कि हम अवेयर हो पाएंगे और मौके पर हम रिएक्ट कर पाएंगे, प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स ले पाएंगे। आप बहुत सारे ऐसे इमरजेंसी जानते हैं जो जिनको इस चीज़ की नॉलेज है, जो इस सेक्टर में उनको मालूम है कि थोड़ी सी सावधानी बरतने से हम बहुत बड़े डिजास्टर को बचा सकते थे या बहुत सारी कैजुअलिटीज होने से बचा सकते थे। एनडीआरएफ डिफरेंट टाइप की मॉक ड्रिल एक्सरसाइज करती है, कम्युनिटी अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम्स करती है। यदि इस तरह के मॉक ड्रिल अगर आप में से कोई करवाना चाहता है, कोई एजेंसी करवाना चाहती है, तो दीज आर द कॉन्टैक्ट नंबर, यू कैन कॉन्टैक्ट एनी टाइम, even in the headquarter and New Delhi or to me in Maharashtra. These are the numbers. With this, thank you very much. If you have any question, you can pose it to me. I will try to answer it.
Sir, there is one question.
Please.
In mock drills organized by NDRF and where to know about the upcoming trainings done by NDRF?
ठीक है, इसमें you can very well participate, or any civilian or civil body can very well participate in the mock drill, but their part is limited. उनको वो रोल दिया जाएगा या वो रोल हम देते हैं जो कि सिविलियन से एक्सपेक्टेड है। those who are professional will be given the part which they deserve. मीन्स अगर आपको उस चीज की जानकारी है तो आपको वैसा रोल दिया जाएगा। फॉर एग्जाम्पल फायर सर्विसेज, अगर फायर सर्विसेज है उनको तो वो रोल दिया जाएगा जिसमें वो ट्रेंड है। इसी तरह से सिविल बॉडीज हैं, उनको वो रोल दिया जाता है कि आप इस चीज के बारे में जानकारी लें, कैसे रिएक्ट करना है, कैसे प्रिकॉशनरी मेजर्स लेने हैं, कैसे दूसरे अपने साथी की या आसपास के लोगों की जान बचानी है या उनको बचाव करना है। इसकी जानकारी जो मैंने नंबर दिया था, आप हमसे बात कर सकते हैं। हम इस पर ट्रेनिंग भी देते हैं, अलग अलग शेड्यूल की अलग अलग ड्यूरेशन में ट्रेनिंग होती है जिसमें पब्लिक को अवेयर करते हैं। अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट, अगर आपको लगता है कि हमारी स्ट्रेंथ ज़्यादा है, हम पूरे गाँव को या पूरे स्टेट को ट्रेनिंग देना चाहते हैं, तो आप हमसे कॉन्टेक्ट करें। हम अपनी टीम वहाँ पर भेजते हैं पब्लिक अवेयरनेस के या कम्युनिटी अवेयरनेस प्रोग्राम के तहत। आवाज नहीं आ रही।
Thank you much, sir. Now we are moving ahead to our second presentation. I would request Dr. R.S. Chimote, Chief Scientist and ACSIR Academy Professor, Fire Research Laboratory, Central Building Research. He will be talking about the fire safety and management in petroleum sector. Over to you, sir.
Good morning, all of you. Are you able to listen me?
Yes, sir. You are audible, sir.
Clear voice?
Yes, sir.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, I wholeheartedly welcome participants from ONGC IPSHEM, and the topic is related to the petroleum sector. So petroleum sector is a big sector, and a lot of events, happening events that occur in the petroleum sector here in India and worldwide also. Oil India has witnessed the biggest ever oil well blowout fire recently, and it continued, and just now it has been killed. So it took almost 3-4 months. In 1994 also, there was in Pasarlapudi, ONGC also experienced the same kind of oil gas well blowout in Pasarlapudi, Rajamundry district. That I attended also. I was there for almost 10 days with the permission of ONGC chairman. That time Mr. Mangvik was there. So with this, I will continue. And next slide. As now the ONGC has become the versatile and it has integrated company now, and see refinery sector also come into the ONGC, and beside the crude oil exploration, production and storage and transportation, and again refining. So a lot of hazard events are there, and we'll have to manage that one. So in that aspect, so let us go to the next slide. So CBRN, just a brief background, since 1947, it has been started by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, and it has come into existence. It has developed more than the 117 technologies related to the building science and technology. Fire also technologies. We have also contributed to building sector in a large scale as far as the fire resistance is concerned. And the petroleum sector, I have also personally developed the direct foam injection technology for the efficient extinguishment of the petrol, diesel, kerosene, and crude oil tank fires also. It extinguishes the fire within a 1 minute time. That is my target. And we have demonstrated to ONGC, SPCL, BPCL, Indian Oil, and the Engineers India Limited, these people also, and we have patented it in India and USA. Next slide, please. So these technologies are related to the buildings and industries also. We have also done the fire safety audit for ONGC long back for all the most of the buildings, and ONGC, that Vasudhara Bhavan fire also we had investigated in 1993, 1994, that year it has occurred there in Mumbai. Later on, we conducted the fire safety audit of the many buildings. Next slide. And besides that, we also contribute to the strategic sectors regarding the landslides, hazards in Garhwal Himalayan reserves also, and the nuclear installations, nuclear power corporation, BRC, and other sectors also. Next. So this is the technology. This is the demonstration model of 5-meter diameter tank. The flame height goes here 15 meter high. We cannot stand 30 meters near to the tank fire. And this is the demonstration model created for the oil industry at CBRN Roorkee in the fire research laboratory, and it is very efficient and effective fire extinguishment technology as far as the direct foam injection is concerned, and it extinguishes the fire within 60 seconds. Minimum foam injection ratio also we have brought down, and the application rate come down from 10 to 12 to down to 3 liters per meter square per minute. And it has also got the inbuilt fire resistance rating more than half an hour to 1 hour, so that till the arrival of the fire brigade also, if any tank goes out of control, so we can also efficiently extinguish the fire also. It is workable for the polar and polar flammable liquids also, and we have done the up to 100-meter diameter tank also. We have carried out the scale-up studies also. And next slide. We have also got the international linkages. We have links with the many universities in US, Canada, Japan, Australia, Germany, France, and besides that, the structural fire engineering is concerned, health monitoring of the building, nanomaterials, and related aspects also. Next slides. So coming to the next outline of my presentation will be very short, but will be focused also depending upon the audience, target audience. So we will go to the little bit state of the art, and I will show you the annals of the world history of great fire, so that we should also come to know what could be the magnitude and the challenges we face and the firefighting community and the fire engineers face across the world and in India when the major fires occur. And then the tragic one case study also I will demonstrate the next slide. This is the event you see here. This is the multiple tank fire explosion that has occurred in the Boonsfield Hertfordshire terminal in UK 2005. And if a little fire sustains, a river cannot quench it. That is the saying when the Great London Fire has occurred in, and that is the very famous saying uttered by Shakespeare. So this is the classes of fire, class A, B, C, D. These fire people know, but the other audience should also know. So there is a tetrahedron of fire. When there will be a fuel and the environment is full of oxygen, and the moment we get the ignition temperature from any causes of fire, electrical short circuit, pilot, BD, cigarette, or whatsoever it may be, or process rise in temperature, and then there will be a chain propagation reaction, so that continue the fire. So next slide. So there is a now the protocol. So fire extinguishment media has been controlled, and new fire extinguishing agents are being developed all over the world and in India as per the Montreal Protocol and protocol guidelines, and the halons are now disappearing. So we have got the FM 200 and the NOAC 1230 and beyond that. So up to 2030, NOAC 1230 and other alternative fire extinguishing agents, UNEP, United Nations Environmental Protection Agencies, have now listed the 21 around 2021 extinguishing agents to be used as far as the environmental protection is concerned. So, but there are some of old one were very efficient, 1211 and 1301. Next, and the so these are the environmentally accepted fire extinguishing materials by UNFPA, and the NFPA 2001 standard on clean agent fire extinguishing system. They cover up, and some are outdated. And in India, in 2010, Ministry of Environment and Forest has banned the halon, and the halon bank has been created by the DRDO. And now we are limited with the fire extinguishers. And foam is the powerful extinguishing agent, liquid nitrogen, CO2, DCPs, and the water mist is the now gaining importance as far as the scarcity of water is occurring every cities and every part of the country and world over. So we'll have to limit the water usage through the water mist, and the flow rate has to be reduced, and at the same time the fire should be also extinguished efficiently. So there are the right from the clean agents are there. So let us go to the annals of the world history of great fires. This is the next. So 66 gallon fire. This day is celebrated 14th April as the Fire Services Day, when in 1944, a 66 gallon fire personnel died at the spot, and because of the explosion of the undeclared hidden content of gold bars and 1,400 tons of explosives. So this is a marked event that had occurred in the history of fire safety and fire protection and firefighting personnel. Next. Now let us go to this will be very good for the petroleum sector and especially ONGC, SPCL, BPCL and IOCL people. And this is the largest ever fire occurred in the, as far as the fires are concerned, in post-war fire in Europe and in India also. Initial explosion and the explosion was to the magnitude such that it was almost equivalent to 2.4 on Richter scale. 22 tanks were involved, so from 28-meter diameter to and 50-meter diameter lasers, and all types of fuels, that's a gasoline, diesel, and ATF were involved. And the incidents took place because of the more than 3 lakh unleaded gasoline overflowed, and fire extinguishing agents were used for firefighting for almost 7.5 days, and that is the 6 lakh liters of foam was applied. Here the foam, which type of foam is suitable for the oil industry, that has been proven and that has been tested there also. And only the emerging candidate, the fluoroprotein foam, has been found to be very, very suitable and efficient for the fighting the large and the out of controlled fires in especially the storage tanks. Next. See that is the aerial photos of the incidents. 120 kilometer of arc of black smoke reaching 3,000 meter in the air. It's a dense smoke. 1,000 firefighters were fought 4 days with 300 appliances. So the mobilization of so huge amount of resources would continue to fire more than 7 days. And structural damage to 300 homes and 2,000 people were evacuated. Many companies were disrupted and damaged nearby. Next. And the building severe, that is normally 850 people, that is the building gutted, normally house 850 people fully gutted nearby. 4 days of search and rescue operations continued. Almost 80 companies suffered too, and employing more than 4,000 people. These people went jobless. That is the tragedy. Another, 200 companies disrupted. And let us go to the small background of this IOCL fire. 13 people killed and 150 injured from a small incident took place on 29th October 2009, and tank fire. 11 huge tanks were burning, and around 25 fire tenders were placed into service, and fire was continued to be burned because it could not be extinguished by the IOCL, in spite of they were having so many resources to fight the fire also. Next. So the gas tanker crash fire in the petroleum sector is common also. While transporting the LNG, CNG, LPGs, this, and in developed country also it occurred. Can I show the video also? If anybody, is it possible to show the video also? And if possible enough for the NIDM people, so they can arrange the video show also, or otherwise I will continue with the next slide. Next.
So you can continue, sir, because it's not possible.
So nearby villages, they exposed to such kind of incidences and will have to be prepared. So disaster management has to focus on many aspects of fire safety, fire protection, and disaster control. Large building fires also, where the petroleum cylinder, that is the petroleum LPG cylinders fire occurs at the multi-story, and this continue occurring in Mumbai, Delhi, and these create a lot of problems for fighting the people, and the one floor fire continues to involve the many upper floors and as well as the down floors also. Next. So these are the dynamic fire protection is required for the fire brigade to adopt, and the automatic fire extinguishing system also need to be adopted where the storage of petroleum products are there. So safe use of cylinder gases, these are to be taught to the people, and the awareness has been created by our marketing oil and gas companies. But besides that, the incidents do occur, and we will have to avoid these disasters by adopting the safety procedures. Next. So compressed gas is used in variety of industrial and laboratory situations, and there are the different types of gases: flammable, combustible, explosive, corrosive, poisonous, toxic, inert, cryogenic, pyrophoric gases. And these in major petrochemical industries and allied chemical industries, these are involved. So we'll have to be prepared on that aspect also. Next. Common industrial gases and oxidants that supports combustion. So we have got the inherent oxidizers are also involved in the chemical and petrochemical and the petroleum sector. So we'll have to identify these materials so that it should not be near to the flammable materials. And we should use the, as far as possible, for firefighting inert gases where possible, so that the fire should be contained and then followed by the extinguishers and the clean agents also. So there should be a multiple use of the fire extinguishing agents rather than depending upon the single agent. And we should have know the characteristics, chemical characteristics, physical and chemical properties of these toxic, corrosive and pyrophoric materials also. Next. Main causes of incidents and accidents, everybody knows it very well, but still we miss it, and we'll have to do it through proper training and supervision. Poor installation and poor maintenance. We, as a human being, we do the errors, and because of the negligence or error or day-to-day fatigues, a lot of problems are there in industry also. We'll have to take into consideration, and we'll have to get it rectified, these problems also at day-to-day level also, quarterly, half-yearly, through maintenance procedures, standard maintenance procedures also, and poor handling and poor storage also. The overflowing of the storage tanks also happen to be there in the refineries also. Inadequately ventilated working conditions also. Next. So these main hazards vary from high, low hazards, very highly hazardous also, depending upon the fire loading conditions. So if on petroleum sector is more than 11 lakh kilocalorie per kg of fuel, fire load density is there per meter square of floor area. So everywhere these are the highly hazardous industries, and we'll have to deal with the process to process, tank to tank, and the storage to storage, and the sector to sector, refining portion to. And there are the chemical runaway reactions also do occur. Next. So hazards are associated multiple in configurations and magnitudes also. So safe working with the gas cylinders. Next slides. Never attempt to repair a cylinder. So people used to try to do it some mischiefs with the cylinder. So never scrap a cylinder. So it should be returned to the market, the supplier agencies, and it should be brought into the notice of the appropriate authority to have the safe practices to be followed. Next. The hoses, the gas hoses should be of the appropriate quality and the configuration, and it should. But the people used to play with this kind of hoses also, gas industrial hoses, and the supply lines and the supply pipes also. So we'll have to follow the standard EN 1256 standard, or BSEN 559 standard, or the acetylene and other fuel gases also. Next. The piping, distribution piping has to be very, very leak proof, 100% leak proof, and it should be checked regularly, and the leakage should be always below the lower flammability limit of the any gas. And next, so natural gas has the lower flammability of 4% volume by volume, and 14% is the upper limit. So natural gas, one type quality, second and third. So it should be covered in the same lower flammability and upper flammability range of 4 to 14%. LPG 1.9 to 9.5 in that range. Hydrogen, if it is in the process areas where hydrogen is being handled or used, so its flammability range should be known. that is the 6.5 over 6.2 to 71. And carbon monoxide, we neglect carbon monoxide where there will be a smoldering fire, and that is the very major culprit in the major explosions and fires. And flammability range is 16 volume by volume lower flammability to 71.2. Whole the blast furnace gases, that is 36 to 65. And methane is a 5.8 to 13.5 volume by volume percent is important, and for the natural gas, it is mainly the natural gas, and methane content is 96% in the natural gas. Methane 3.3 to 10.6, and the other gases. Next slide. So cylinders appear normal, but it is moved to detonate with fatal consequences. So we'll have to be very cautious on the handling. Blow pipes and torches. So there should be a cold permit and the hot permit system, and it should be strictly followed. Because when we miss a single event, there was one major example of missing the hot permit and cold permit system. And when we neglect on that part, and one incident occurred in November 1988, that is the BPCL fire, that is a tank fire, naphtha tank fire, 35.5 meter diameter tank fire occurred, and 35 people died at the spot, and 17 got injured in a single incident, and fire continued for almost 4 or 5 days in Bharat Petrol Refinery in Mumbai in November 1988, just one day before the Diwali incident. Next, so for the contractors, it should be strictly followed. Cold permit and the hot permit system should be very strictly observed in the petroleum sector. Next. Transporting cylinders. This is hazards are occurring, and the ensure gas cylinders are clearly labeled to show the contents and associated hazards. These are very pertinent, and the open load compartment is not separated from the driver, and do not carry toxic gas cylinders. And this is the major problem associated. So secure cylinders properly so that they cannot move or fall in transit. Next. Next slide. This covers the transportation aspects and unload the cylinders. While unloading also, there will be a lot of incidences occur during cylinder unloading, and the laborers are not well trained, and they create the problems, and the fire starts from such unloading incidences also in the gas cylinders. Next. Safe storage of LPG, and the LPG cylinders have special requirements, including the storage 3 meters away from the other gases. This should be observed strictly as per the NFPA norms. Pyrophoric and toxic gases should be stored separately in locked and suitable ventilated storage areas with restricted access. Protect gas cylinders from external heat sources, which may adversely affect the mechanical integrity. The full cylinder should be stored separately from empties, and empty oxygen cylinders should be segregated from empty fuel gas cylinders. So this is important and strictly observed in the petroleum sector. Cylinders should be clearly labeled to show the contents and associated hazards. Next slide, please. If a cylinder is leaking, it has ignited, it could explode. Call the emergency services and evacuate the area to a minimum distance of 100 meters. This should be observed. And where a cylinder has been damaged, it has to be brought into the notice of the expert and the appropriate authority to tackle the situation. For handling acetylene cylinders should not be moved unless it is clearly established that there is no thermal dissociation. So that should be observed strictly. Next slide, please. So incident response, look out for gas cylinders in horizontal position as well as on the ground also. In contact with the electrical cords, are not protected from falling chain or not secure damage. So damaged cylinders should be well taken care of, and the combustible should not be stored nearby. Oxygen and acetylene cylinders without hull cap. So these strict observance and lookout for gas cylinders should be done. And and next slides, please. This is the concluding remark only for the gas safety. And compressed gases present a unique hazard. Depending on the particular gas, there is a potential for simultaneous exposure to both mechanical and chemical hazards. So when working with the compressed gases, you need to know the properties of the gas and safe use procedures. So for detailed use of individual gases, you should now review the MSDS. Material safety data sheet should be strictly followed, and it should be observed in the industry and each sector while transportation, while storage, while using and handling also. So always treat gas cylinders with respect. So there will be a minimum level of incidence in any sector. Next. So high risk occupancies, we will just touch the brief aspects of the high risk occupancies. And we know that we say fires are very slow fire, very medium fires, fast fires and ultra fires. These are being categorized on the basis of the rate of the NFPA 204 standard should be followed for fire load calculation and fire growth rate coefficient, and the minimum fire incubation time is required. So this is the for calculation of the high risk occupancies. In petroleum sector, it will be use this formulation to be used for calculating the fire load density in each area, and accordingly the fire protection measures should be adopted. Next. And there is chemistry. This is the little bit the chemical fast reaction fire chemistry should be observed, and in hydrocarbon industry. But this is not of the scope of the methane fire. It involves the 400 elementary reactions. Simple methane fire. When the complex hydrocarbon fires occur, say crude oil fire, petroleum, gasoline fire, petrol, diesel, or these multiple hydrocarbons are involved, aliphatic and aromatic compounds are involved. So then the complex reactions emerge, and the flammability range modifies during the course of fire also. And that's why there will be a single incidence, small fire, and then the multiple explosions starts occurring. So next. So handling the complex reactions and hydrocarbons take lot of study, and the lot of research is required in this aspect also. And next. So Arrhenius equation, you must have all of us know, and the Chaperone coefficient related to the hydrogen, and these are the most important reactions for the studying of the fire safety aspects in the petroleum hydrocarbon industry, and that will bring you the activation energy and the square of the temperature. So it is inversely proportional to the square of the temperature, and constant will take part. So depending upon the what type of clean agents to be used in different fires, gaseous fires, so we need to calculate on the basis of the flammability range, heat of combustion, and the burning rate reaction. So next slide. So it's a complex, but we have to resolve it by standard in 3 steps. We should have the novel extinguishing agent, which type of fires to be extinguished, and the novel system or the method for its applications. We should not directly the common conventional. We'll have to evolve and develop the innovative system, and we should adopt the intelligent as well as the manual, automatic, the combination, the combo extinguishing systems should be adopted for efficient extinguishment of any kind of hydrocarbon fire. oil well blowout fires is the challenging. So methodology of fire suppression, everybody knows it. So it's a oxygen and air depletion, removal of reducing agent, and the reducing agent is the fuel, and the fire temperature reduction and flame chain reaction. So all the four symbolic representation will involve the different types of fire extinguishing agents to be deployed for fighting the major fire and to avoid the disaster. Like how efficiently fire is to be detected and suppression system is to be activated. So we'll have to do it for each area, and for a refinery it will be different, and the storage installation will be different. The crude oil conditioning plant, it will be different, and then the gas compressing station or the crude oil stations, it will be different, and the drilling rig, it will be different. So we'll have to, our knowledge base has to travel from the known knowledge base to unknown problem solving. So we'll have to develop the innovative solutions. So we should know why, know how, and develop the methodology and where to apply it. So we'll have to the system design approach are efficient and effective extinguishment of the fire. Next slide, please. So there are the different zones of the fire in the, and we'll have to tackle at different. So applying the fire extinguishing agent stream of any extinguishing agent onto the seat of fire, not only seat of the fire, but in the middle zone and the flame tip area also, depending upon the type of fire. So fire protection for petroleum occupancy is a complex, and we'll have to practice it on quarterly basis and daily basis also, and there should be a mock drills also, continuous drilling to be carried out, and all the process people and the handling people and the production people should be also involved into the mock drill also, and the senior management, middle management level, lower management level people, and the people, contractual labors people also should be involved, so that they should know in case of major fire emergency, we should be ready to fight and evacuate the people and save our property from the clutches of fire. Next. So emergency response and disaster management plan and the best practices SOPs for any refinery has to be followed, and it's a typical refinery plot plan. So we'll have to take into consideration, and our fire engineers from the National Fire Service College, they are well versed with this kind of practices, and they follow the latest technologies available in the country and the world over. And so I have the great respect for our fire engineers working in the petroleum sector. They work 24/7 and they follow the practices. But in spite of that, if any incidents occurs, we'll have to be prepared with the support of the top management people. And this is the I experienced personally when I was in Oil India Limited also, and when I did the project with the ONGC. Next. So there should be a disaster emergency preparedness plan, and all the level people, the local administration from this hospital coordination, superintendent of police, SDO office, joint director health services, civil supply officer, district transport officer, and PWD engineers, electrical engineers, public health engineers, highway authorities people, also executive engineers, state electricity boards, inspector of factories, and the district department PRO, panchayat people also, because your operations may be in the village areas also, in remote areas also. We will have to take into railway authorities, DRM, divisional railway engineers should be also taken into this emergency preparedness plan. Fire service coordinator, state fire brigade, as well as the central fire brigade or the CSF fire brigade. Refinery authorities, their telephone numbers, mobile numbers should be reflected in your contingency plan, offsite emergency preparedness plan, and who should be the coordinator. There should be unity of command, so that it should be strictly followed. And the chief offsite emergency coordinator, deputy commissioner, from our additional deputy commissioner has to be there if there will be a major disaster. So in that territory also we'll have to be very thorough on the emergency preparedness plan. Next slide, please. And all should be regularly fire protection facilities, fire water network, hydrant system in marketing terminal, in refinery and other fuel depots, tanks, LPG spheres, LPG bottling plant, hydrocarbon pumps, loading gantries, storage tanks, hot, etc. has to be clearly mentioned, and safety audit should be done regularly where we lack.
Hello, sir.
And the thefts also occur in the
Hello.
petroleum sectors, in the fire safety area. So it should be also prevented, and it should be properly audited and investigated, and it should be replaced also. Next slide, please. Refinery mobile firefighting units, it should be fire safety audited regularly. How many latest equipments we are having, what additions we need, what are outdated, and DCP tenders, mobile oil spill recovery unit, home trailers, mobile fire units, trailer fire pump, home fire tenders, DCP fire, and all types of fire extinguishers. From location to location, from its capacity to etc. should be accordingly changed, and it should be regularly fire audited. Next, and it should be properly maintained also. In case of emergency, it should be always working, and exception can be there, but it should be 100% ensured to be properly working. Next slide, please. Captive power plants, and we should have the very well addressed mobile firefighting units in case of emergency in the petroleum sector. This is the typical example for any refinery fire station. Next. Mobile oil spillage recovery, this is required, and lot of oil spillages occur nearby and the area. So zone wise, area wise, refinery wise, and the production area wise, it should be located, and accordingly it should be, in case of emergency, it should be moved. Next, and the certified DNV OSHA's certification should be also there for quality and environment. OSHA's 18001 and should be also, safety management system should be followed. ISO 9001 and 14001 for quality and environment. These practices should be achieved at different levels. And DG fastly audit compliance report should be also reported every now and then. And the sectional safety committees, area safety committees should be also, this pattern should be strictly followed in the petroleum sector. They are well versed. Petroleum sector is fully versed with these kind of practices, but depending upon, we should take the lessons from the incidences, and we should develop the more comprehensive plans for future also. Next. And the director technical should be also well supported on that aspect also, and he should be always taken into confidence on these aspects. And the construction safety manual has to be in English and Hindi. Safety manuals, fire manuals, on-site disaster management plan and off-site disaster plan should be mandatory. Fire orders, material safety data sheet should be displayed at different locations, and contractor safety manual has to be strictly followed, and fire protection and fire safety pocket manual has to be given to all the engineers in the petroleum sector. Visitors familiarization and safety card, leaflet on LPG safety, and their examination should be also taken from the contractors, so that they should know that is the we are well versed with our safety practices and the disaster preparedness. So all the LAN, internet, now there is a digital revolution, information revolution in this new era. So we should have the latest equipment as far as the communication is concerned. Fire alarm and the detection system has now advanced, and the video based system also should be adopted. Instead of having the small detectors located. So for wider areas coverage of the storage area, video system would be the best one, so that it should be into the control room and it should be monitored strictly. So this should be also newest system should be adopted also. Next, communication facilities and fire and safety training hall. This should be refresher training for new appliances and all the new employees should be done. All employees refresher training, and they should be inducted in all the departments of the organization, all the sectors, so that each and any new entrant should know all the thorough working of the organization, contractors, supervisions and workmen, CSF and other security staff and the fuel drivers also. So training policy should be, and then the firefighting training should be regularly conducted depending upon the requirement, and it should be jointly done with the CISF as well as the public also, and the firefighting personnel from the refineries and the ONGC and all staff should be involved. So for minor fire, major fire, drills should be conducted on-site disaster and off-site disaster. Both the drills should be regularly conducted for the hot and spears and etc. Rescue operation for the NDRF team also, they are very much efficient, and NDMA is doing the best along with the NDRF people. They are doing for, and so these are practices being followed in the refinery. I am very fortunate to have the people from the refineries is associated and in touch with me. So health hazard survey for employees should be carried out also. On the site safety training for employees, contractor safety evaluation for turnaround jobs should be carried out. Survey of firefighting and safety equipment to be carried out. Internal safety audit by members from group companies should be. Internal safety audit is being prevailed as per OSD standards. So identification of fire hazards, industrial buildings. So petroleum processing plants, petrochemical plants and industrial alcohol plants and petrochemical plants, these comes into the, as per National Building Code of India, Group G, and the category the G6, and the nature of occupancy having the fire load more than the 11 lakh kilocalorie per meter square. So there are different industrial buildings also, and the practices should be accordingly followed. And the maintenance, the class of fire risk versus the fire aid extinguishers also, it should be replaced also. And the test interval should be also 2 years. Every 2 years at 85 bar, test pressure should be, and the fire knockdown should not come down to 2.5 minutes. For all the extinguishers, this kind of drills and testing should be done at the departmental level, and we at the fire research laboratory also can help on that aspect also. So for the testing of the fire extinguishers regularly, and our fire engineers at the refinery and the ONGC and IPSHEM, they are very well versed with this one. And if any help is required, I am there to help at any time. Thank you very much. Next slide, please.
Hello, Chimote sir.
So,
am I audible?
Scale of fire, intelligent active fire protection measures are highly hazardous. This should be followed, and special hazards will be there. In every process area, there is a special hazards. More than 11 lakh kilocalorie per meter square fire load will be there. So we should have the special hazard protection, fire safety equipment. The scale of intelligent active fire protection and the fire aid firefighting equipment measures should be followed. And beside that also, we can redesign also. It's not that the one standard says, beyond standard also we'll have to go for the special hazards, ordinary. With the last slides. Yeah. Next slide, please. The highly hazard occupancy, this called the next. And this is the scheme of intelligent water mist system for the buildings. Instead of going in for the building, it should be followed also. In petroleum sector also, there are various buildings also. So it should have the building and industrial occupancy should have the very appropriately designed water means fire system also, so that it should be environment friendly. We should make in India pattern also. We should work on our Indian industry as well as some foreign industry also should be involved for developing the new products and innovative solutions. And we are ready to work on that aspect also with the ONGC IPSHEM also. Next. And with the NDMA also. And for high-rise buildings also, we can work on that for industrial occupancies. Next. Along, and this is the schematic. And the development of safe, environment-friendly and sustainable building materials and technologies, our main motto. So we are many developers, we are a lot of projects, 45 crore projects we are working, handling at CBRN Roorkee, and the safety, environment-friendly, sustainable building materials characterization, manufacturing and appliance. So basic firefighting tips for the normal man, for anybody also, how to fight a fire safely. So everybody knows it. Fire engineers, they are very well conversed. But for normal people, use a buddy system to have someone backup you up. I'll call for help if something goes wrong. See, in case of fire emergency, you should have the buddy system so that there should be always a backup system should be there. Next. And this is for especially for the administrative people from the departments of the petroleum refineries and sector. So how to fight fire? This should be taught for the ladies also, working women, and the contractual laborers also, how to fight fire also. This should be regularly taught, and whosoever you may be. So sweeping action of the fire extinguisher, and there should be brought in, the confidence level should be built to the regular training and practices. Never fight a fire if fire is spreading rapidly. You don't know what is burning. So that is important. You don't have. Thank you very much. And thank you, ONGC IPSHEM. May God bless you. Thank you, NIDM. Any questions? I am ready to answer all types of questions. So any question is welcome.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much, sir, to enlighten our participants. So one of our participants asked, could you put some light on all? Hello, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, speak a little bit loudly, madam.
Okay. Could you put some light on oil tank fire at Butcher Island near Mumbai?
Yeah. Butcher Island is, say, tank fire could be extinguished by by adopting the innovative solutions. CBRN has developed the innovative solutions. It has been patented in India and USA also. So it is called the direct home injection technology. It extinguishes the fire if it is installed thoroughly in a tank, in a petrol, kerosene, diesel, crude oil, any tank. Aliphatic compound hydrocarbon tank, if it is installed, I guarantee that it could be extinguished within 1 minute time. I will show you the demo in a tank fire also. NIDM people also I can invite also anytime. And ONGC people, many people have shown. But if they need also, they can come also. I welcome ONGC. If some people also, I can show you the demo. It's a simple technology. You can make it complicated as possible, and but it should be simple and it should extinguish the fire. That is more important. Technology should be simple in principle and in working, and it should be efficiently tackle the fire. That is the more important. So my basic aim is, say, a big tank fire, if it is tackled, I guarantee that it should be tackled within 5-10 minutes maximum. Any tank. But we are ready to work with the ONGC or any oil company also. And this is indigenous technology. I can transfer technology to ONGC also if required also, if they are interested. And I can also work with the ONGC also. Problem will be there. I can guarantee that. And I can work with the fire engineer, director technical, anybody also. And we can involve OSD also, the Engineers India Limited or Bechtel Corporation or anybody, any private industry also. No problem will be there. Yeah.
Thank you very much, sir. Now moving ahead. IDRN is a nationwide electronic inventory of resources that enlist collated from districts, states, and national line department developed by NIDM. We have with us Joint Director of NIDM, Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Chandra Vasista, who will enlighten us on the topic of IDRN and supply chain management. The floor is yours, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Harjeet. Thank you so much. I've heard the previous participant, he was talking on fire. Am I audible, Dr. Harjeet?
Yes, sir. Audible, sir.
Okay, okay. So I've heard the previous participant. I am Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Chandra Vashisht. I am the Joint Director here in NIDM, and the IDRN idea as such, I'll be speaking on what is IDRN, what is this resource network, and how it is beneficial in overall, basically management of the disasters as such, and how the PSU, as a PSU or the oil companies, as we are speaking today with, how are they actually involved in this entire process of IDRN. So I will start with the basics of the IDRN portal. That is, how did this idea generated, and how it is linked to the entire process of the disaster management, and basically how well we are prepared for tackling any disaster. So I will start speaking on the aspects of supply chain management, in which since we are an oil, we are dealing and we are sitting with the audience which is related to the oil and the petroleum and the gas and all these things, as I can see. So I'd be taking you through the supply chain grid of the petroleum companies, and then I will graduate to the IDRN portal, how it is related to the overall disaster management, and in case of any emergency situation, how can we utilize it for the best use. I'll share my screen first. Is my screen visible, Dr. Harjeet?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Okay, okay. So to start with, I will reiterate the point of coronavirus prevention, how we can prevent ourselves from coronavirus till a vaccine is given to all of us. And since the vaccines have started being developed, and new success stories are coming in the field of corona vaccines. However, as per the government mandate, and this is a request from NIDM, also the National Institute of Disaster Management, since we deal with these topics day in and day out, that all these 5 factors which have been shown here through these cartoons and through this this narrative. Only thing is that the only prevention or only vaccine to coronavirus is these 5, as per the latest health ministry guidelines. First is the wear your mask properly, then wash your hands with soap and water, avoid touching eyes, nose, and ears, keep social distancing, and clean the surface regularly, whichever you are using every day. So I will come straight away to the topic which is given to me, that is supply chain management. As we all know, the supply chain management is the process of the activity. It is the process and activity of sourcing the raw material or component which an enterprise needs to create a product, service, and deliver that product or service to the customer. It is actually the end-to-end. Basically, once the thought process for any particular item is started, for any particular service item or supplies of goods, anything, whenever a business house, whenever or any entity, anybody thinks of that, that this is a product which I need to deliver it to the end user or the customer. So a customer is who pays the price, and the end user in the government parlance, I will come to that when I will speak on the IDR and how it is the supply chain. So it is end to end. The tail, basically, once the process starts of thinking about the raw material, and the chain is up to the once the finished good is delivered to the customer, and from the customer the information is taken back. This entire process is the supply chain management. These are the major features of the supply chain management. One, the supplier management, scheduling, resourcing, conversion, stock deployment, delivery, and customer management. Both ways the flow of information and material flow is there before usage and after usage. The both material and information flow is there. And the same is with the petroleum industry, as shown on the slide. You can well see, and you can always see as per your industry, that you can connect well that this is the supply chain as we talk. The supply planning on the top and the distribution planning at the bottom. Both ways, as shown in the previous model, the information flow and the product, the material flow, both ways is the basically is the supply chain management. The major 6 components are planning, sources, making, delivering, returning, and enabling. So if you see this in this entire grid of the crude purchase, crude transportation, crude storage, refining, retailing, consumer, marketing, product, storage, terminal, product transportation. So this all and the information of the demands, the supplies, and the visibility of the goods or the gas or the oil in the entire grid is the supply chain management. As we all know that the stages in petroleum supply chain are the exploration, production, refining, marketing, and consumer. These are the major stages in the supply chain grid. Excuse me. So what are the objectives in the petroleum sector? The minimization of the material procurement, whatever the raw material which has to come, maximization of manufacturing capacity and sales, meet demand numbers, respond to market opportunities, maximize throughput and its margin, procurement. It is the best yield at low cost. Excuse me. Please hold it, please. So COVID-19 has impacted this entire supply chain grid, as we have spoken. Sorry for the phone ringing. COVID-19 has impacted the entire supply chain grid, as we all know, and we have had an experience, and in your industry also you have got an experience and a feel that how these pandemics and these disasters can affect the entire supply chain grid in the in times of disaster or in times of any emergency situation. So the lessons learned and what is the impact and why this impact has happened in COVID-19, this gives us many lessons. So the limitations which we faced during the COVID-19 are the government restrictions, the lockdowns and other restrictions which the government has imposed. The labor got unavailable. There was no availability of the labor because the sentiments were quite different and difficult to handle for the government agencies. The availability of the raw material, the transportation was closed. The buyers were not there in the market. We had seen in the petroleum also the demand has dipped to very low demands have gone, and in the past month we have come back to the normal demands. The perception and the scarcity among the masses of hoarding and other things, it led to the hoarding and other related things, and for the especially the items which are required for daily usage. Credit and cash inflows were off. There was no liquidity in the market, and so the firms they had to the organization they had to suffer during these this COVID-19 pandemic, and this many of the limitations as seen here. So they are a part of any pandemic and any disaster. So and so what do we do ahead for preparation of to handle these kind of contingency situation or these kind of disasters. So we need to create a contingency plan. So contingency should always be kept in mind. Like we are sitting today, the organization with which NIDM has collaborated, they have come to us that we should discuss these factors, what all to get affected during the disasters. So this is the time when we are preparing ourselves to face any kind of emergency situations or any kind of disaster. So so all the organizations, these contingency plans, that in case of disasters, what is the next step, how are we going to plan for the different demand scenarios or different demand environments. In case like the production, then the entire demand cycle, the supply cycle, it is affected by what we need to give it to the consumer or the end user. So this needs to be planned. The contingencies need to be kept in mind. Otherwise, any organization would suffer losses in terms of the money, in terms of the manpower effect, in terms of the ideas in the information. So everything gets haywire during the emergency situation. So this should be catered during our plans while we are seeing the demand environments. The supply shocks, work closely with the existing suppliers in case we get an unprecedented demand from the consumers during this time. As we could see during the times of COVID, there was a huge demand for the grocery items. So these kind of the break in the supply chain due to the non-availability of the grocery items. So in this kind of a scenario, we should collaborate with and work closely with the suppliers, and we should identify it during the times of now, as we are sitting in the times of prevention, when we are talking about prevention. Manage demand volatility. So any demand, any shocks which we are going to see, how the consumer is going to behave. So these kind of the panic buying or the hoardings, other things should always be kept in mind during the planning stages. Make work safe place, as we see that in times of disaster, this COVID-19. So we should think about these things in our day-to-day routine also, that how are we going to work during the times of emergency, any emergency situation, in case of a pipeline getting burst or an accident of a oil tanker or such like things. So how are we going to work in these kind of situations? So this should always be there in the plans, because this affects the entire supply chain grid of any organization. In case the work stops at one particular point of the entire chain, that grid fails and the work suffers. So the way forward for handling any type of disaster is to establish a task force, leverage latest tools, techniques, and data analytics to create transparency in the entire supply chain grid, establish short-term, mid-term, and long-term mitigation plan for demand, supply, and workforce, access government support, cross-industry synergies or partnerships are the basically it is what is going to help us during the disasters, prepare for the upswings in the demand. And as we can see that the supply chain struggle with the up swings whenever the demand goes up and we don't plan, that time the entire planning goes haywire. So this is the way forward, and this is the basic of supply chain management. And now, how have we integrated NIDM? How have we integrated in the entire government plan this supply chain management? For supply chain, one of the most important ingredient is the inventory management, or management of the inventory and the resources. So to manage the inventory or the items which are required by the government agencies during basically during the times when the disaster strikes. Whenever there is rescue and rehabilitation operations, so the major equipment which will be required, the most critical equipments which will be required during the contingency, such like contingencies. So a network has been formulated. It's an online platform. So it is known as India Disaster Resource Network. It is managed by National Institute of Disaster Management under the Ministry of Home Affairs. So why this need was felt? Because India is a has got varied geoclimatic conditions. It's a vast country. it has got it is prone to various kinds of hazards, as we all know, various kinds of emergency situation. For any emergency, we for any emergencies, and it is same for any organization or as we are sitting. So we can face any type of these calamities as shown on this slide. So one of the major challenges for the professionals who are dealing with the disasters was to see where this inventory is exactly lying at, where from we can draw this inventory and these resources. For example, in case of a flood, where are the boats actually lying? What types of boats are there? Are they rubber boats? Are they fiber boats? And who will operate? Where is that that manpower, the skilled human resource who will operate these boats during the times of that floods in that particular area? So there was a need was felt that this kind of a resource inventory of resources should be built on. So when India Disaster Resource Network was formulated, this entire idea was formulated and was put in place in 2004 under the United Nations Development Program and Ministry of Home Affairs. And the main aim and the primary focus was to enable the decision makers to access the equipment and human resources required to combat any type of emergency situation. So NIDM was given the responsibility in June 2008. And since then, NIDM is handling this infrastructure, basically this network. This is the infrastructure for this network. If you can see that the entire the federal system, the central government, the state government, and the up to the districts and the line departments is covered under this network. So wherever you are sitting, so you can relate this in your plans that there is some organization which is looking after the equipment which will be required during the times of disaster. And now, since you're all are from the oil and the oil PSUs, the participants today where we are speaking to, so we have gone to the oil and the PSUs also, so that because you also are having many such items which are required during the disasters. As in the previous slide, I could see the truck firefighting as was shown, and there are many other foam trucks, the water trucks, water tankers, the boats, and many other such like the ladders, many specialist equipment which have been made part of this particular IDRN portal. So this is the infrastructure. We are on an IC server. This is entirely secured network on internet. It functions. However, we are now under a process of development during now within a month, we'll come out with a offline mode also, because during the disasters, the first thing to snap off is the internet. So since there will be no internet connectivity, so we'll not be able to access this database, which is at our servers in New Delhi. So the states will not be able to see where their inventory is lying. So we are coming up with a basically offline mode also, wherein they can download the data, and whenever there is a click on that particular district website, so they can download that data at that particular point of time. So it's presently it's on internet. The state departments, through their district collectors, they are responsible to update the data on this particular network. I'll come to what kind of data it is that. So so they are responsible to update that data through the line departments. Line department here, I mean the fire department, the water department, or the civil defense, or any other such department under the district administration. So they are given various forms and formats, and there are 4 forms as per the mandate of Government of India, and these are Form 1 to Alpha to Bravo to Charlie. So there are 4 forms which are given to any line department, and those people who are dealing with the disaster management, or those dealing with the emergency situation in the PSU. So you might be knowing what all are these forms, because it has been circulated, and the PMO, the Prime Minister's Office, is monitoring the updation now. And now the mandate is with the PSUs also, and the private organizations also. They have to feed this data in this portal, because at times of disaster, the disaster does not see that whether it is a PSU or a private or it's a government organization. So since the first thing is that the inventory should be made available so that the precious human lives can be saved. So in that, I would request whoever from this August gathering that you must participate in this updation of this database and the PSUs, because you all are from PSUs. So you must give the data which is available with you out of that inventory list. So the inventory list as seen in the slide, 289 items. This inventory list is divided into 36 categories. And these 36 categories have been worked out by, here we have a committee under the National Disaster Management Authority. And with that, we, NIDM, NDRF, and the Ministry of Home Affairs with the state representatives, they formulate part of this committee. They are holding regular meeting, and till today we could identify only 289 items which are critical to each and every state and district of India. So this is this list have been culled out for the seeing the criticality and seeing the basically the requirement throughout India in every type of district and state. Because one would be hilly. In case it is Kashmir, it is hilly. In Kerala, it is flood prone, or it has got coastal areas. So this list of 289 items have been made to see for that the requirements of each state are and districts are met. However, this is an ever-changing, ever-evolving list. We are getting feedback from the state authorities. We as an IDM, we have a mandate of capacity building and training on this portal. We have from June 2020 onwards, we have gone to 31 states, and we have trained all 31 states, and 5 states are lined up in this month only. So we'll be completing all training for all these 36 states in the month of November. So we have all 36 states registered on this IDRN portal. Total of 721 districts have been registered out of 740 districts of India. We are in a process through the Government of India that these balance of the districts should also come soon on this IDRN portal. They have issues like the net connectivity and all. So we are sorting out those issues, and soon we'll see all 740 districts of these 36 states and union territories to be registered on this IDRN portal. So we have developed a API also in this portal. This API, when the Kerala state has received floods, in that Kerala state, they have given us this feedback that during the disasters, first thing to snap is the internet line. So they wanted to develop their own system, their own inventory management system. So they requested for an API. So we have in-house development team. So we have developed an API, and now it can be utilized by all these states, and they have been utilizing Kerala, Odisha, and Bihar state. They have made their own inventory management, basically a capsule for this portal. This is the new dashboard. We have come out with a new dashboard on 1st of June 2020. It is quite user friendly, and now we can the states, the districts, and the location for that equipment, the geo tagging for that equipment is also going along, and we have come out with this new solution. Because in the district also, since the districts are quite big, so where exactly is the location and how the resource look like, so that photograph and that picture and the geolocation, geotagging for that particular item is also taking place side by side. So we are in the process of evolving this inventory management capsule, because as we could read, you all know that there was a deficiency of the oxygen cylinders at one point of time in this COVID times about 2 months back. So the district authorities, they came on this IDRN portal to know the exact location for the oxygen cylinders where it is available. So from Surat, things are moved to Bombay, Mumbai, and from the states like Haryana, things are moved to Punjab. So the inter-districts and interstate movement of resources is also happening on this particular IDRN portal. So it's quite a potent inventory management system, and it's one of the major lifesaver in types of disaster, because we should know where the inventory is. In times of like, for example, if an earthquake comes, if we know where the cranes and the JCBs and other such things, so we and where is the crane operator and who will be the crane operator at that point of time, and we know it and we can pinpoint it and we can call it at the shortest time possible. So it can save many people who are under the debris. So this inventory management is a major part in that entire supply chain grid. So these are the contact details in case we want to know more about the IDRN portal. And since I see that many representatives of the PSUs have come in, so I would request that you must update your data on this IDRN portal. These are our details. Any further details on this IDRN portal or the what NIDM is doing on this entire management of the supply chain grid of the businesses and the government entities. So you can connect with us. With this, I finished my presentation since I was given this time because 1 o'clock I was told that it will be clear for lunch. So I finished my presentation. Any questions, any doubts, you can connect with us. Thank you very much. Dr. Harjeet, over to you.
How can panchayat people access or use the resources through IDRN network in case of emergency?
What is the question? Can you repeat it, please?
How can panchayat people access or use the resources through IDRN network in case of emergency?
Yeah, this IDRN network, as I could show you the infrastructure when I was speaking. So the lowest level where the database can be seen is the district level. The district authorities, they have the access to this particular IDRN portal. And from there, the districts have been told that they will have to make their own inventory management system. As you could have seen that I have talked about an API. So we have given all the state governments, the district administrations to make their own database management system so that they can utilize our database, which we are having at IDRN in New Delhi. So since through the districts are connected on this network, the lowest functionary of the government of India, as it is felt, the officer who is responsible for the disaster management is the district collector. So the responsibility for managing this inventory has been assigned to the district collector, and he, through the DDMOs of the districts, so he has the knowledge where the inventory is lying and how it can be given to the various panchayats or the villages or the talukas, how this inventory can be sent to them. So you can connect with the district administration in case you are keen to see the inventory at the village level, what kind of inventory is available at their village and what will come for the support in case of emergency at that village. So the district administration would be able to tell you much better on that.
Thank you very much, sir. Hope this answer will satisfy the query of our participant. Now moving ahead to our presentation, the National Disaster Management Authority has issued on the incident response system under the Section 6 of DM Act of 2005 for effective, efficient and comprehensive management disaster in India. The vision is to minimize loss of life and property by strengthening and standardizing disaster response mechanism in the country. To topic we have with Dr. Singh, Joint Advisor, National Disaster Management Authority. Over to you, sir. Sir, are you there?
I request Dr. Pawan Kumar Singh for presentation. Sir, are you there?
Hello, am I audible to everyone?
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay. So Good afternoon, everyone. And as I can see from the program schedule, we have already discussed about the disaster management structure in India, the DM Act, the fire safety and management in petroleum sector. Then there were DM trainings, NDRF and emergency response. And lastly, Lieutenant Colonel Vasisht has told you about IDRN. So I will be coming directly to the topic on which has been assigned to me. So I think my screen is visible to everyone.
Yes, sir. It is visible.
Okay, fine. So we will start with the disaster management continuum. As you have studied till now, or as you have understood till now, so DM cycle has 6 facets: prevention, preparedness, and mitigation on the pre-disaster cycle, and reconstruction, response, reconstruction, and recovery on the post-disaster cycle. So there are 6 facets for disaster management, and I will be talking on these facets from the point of view of emergency managers and how an emergency is prevented or it is mitigated. So if we break down these 6 facets, so for the first 3, we need to prevent the disasters. We will be focusing more on fires and chemical industrial disasters as the topic because of the lot, and you all have an oil and petroleum background. So we will be focusing more on that. And then to prepare for emergencies and disasters, how to reduce the risk of losses, both in terms of human life lost and economic loss, and how to mitigate their impact. So this is on the pre-disaster cycle, and then we respond to them when they occur with the help of people and institution. We have an institutional structure, and then we have also ancillary system in place. Then how to recover from them through a long-term post-disaster recovery and reconstruction programs, and how to put upon certain values, and how to give additional weightages to specific notified sectors like roads, bridges, power lines, telecommunication, then your health system, education system. So this is how we prioritize for recovery. So this is the entire system of disaster management. As far as this authority is concerned, as mandated by DM Act, we have a mandate to put in place policies on disaster management. We have the mandate to approve the national plan. We came out with the guidelines for preparation of plans by ministries and departments of Government of India, including the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas. Every ministry, as per Section 36, has to prepare a disaster management plan, and guidelines has to be issued by the NDMA, and then these plans has to be approved by the authority. Then authority has a mandate to coordinate enforcement and implementation of policies and plans throughout India. How to recommend funds for mitigation board, now 15th Finance Commission has given a window for national disaster risk, this mitigation fund, and also for the state disaster mitigation fund as mandated by the Act. So how to recommend fund for a specific sector, specific projects, then to provide support to other countries under various bilateral, multilateral arrangements, and also under case-to-case basis for specific situation arises or demand is made. Then to take measures for prevention, mitigation, preparedness, and capacity building, and policy and guidelines for NIDM. The cross-cutting themes which are handled by NDMA is first is incident response system, minimum standards for relief, then for information and communication technology for both natural and man-made disasters, medical preparedness, psychosocial support, and CBDM. These are all in the form of guidelines, and all these guidelines we have published till date 31 guidelines which are on the website of NDMA, and it is easily accessible to everyone, including the guidelines on incident response system. There are certain emergencies we classify into two systems so as to based on the part of the response, because like for floods, for earthquakes, for droughts, for tsunamis, for cyclones, there involves a lot of prevention, preparedness, mitigation measures, but there are certain emergencies which are mainly confined for response purposes, which includes terrorism, law and order situation, hijacking, air accidents, CBRN threats, mine disasters, ports and harbor emergencies, and forest fire, oil spills. In all these emergencies are handled by National Crisis Management Committee. They are outside the mandate of national authority. So we have, from the point of view of response, we have 3 committees at the apex level in place. First is the Cabinet Committee on Security. It comprises the PM, the Defense Minister, the Home Minister, the Minister of External Affairs, and Minister of Finance. Basically, this provides for a national security perspective if an incident has potential security implications. This includes CBRN also, and for all other disasters which can create a security threat. So that is handled by Cabinet Committee on Security. The second comes the National Crisis Management Committee. This is an apex committee headed by the Cabinet Secretary, and it includes secretaries of the ministries and departments of Government of India and other agencies who have a specific role in disaster management. This committee basically oversees the command, control, and coordination of the disaster management system overall, and also for the specific response, be it Cyclone Fani, or it's Cyclone Titli, or Cyclone Ganjam, or anything else. Or we can talk about earthquakes, we can talk about floods. So anything which has a very high proportion and magnitude, and which is beyond the coping capacity of the state, or for the other players to play a role, then NCMC comes into picture and it coordinates everything from a central perspective. It gives direction to the crisis management group. Every ministry, including Ministry of Petroleum Natural Gas, has a crisis management group in place, and every state has a state crisis management group. It gives directly the directions to these groups as deemed necessary, and then gives direction for specific action to in a crisis situation, what has to be done, how it has to be done, who will do it, and how and by when. So these four questions are answered, and then
Hello, Dr. Harjit Kaur. I think we have lost contact with Pawan sir. Just give me 2 minutes. We are trying to bring him back. Just give me 2 minutes.
Okay, Mr. Raju.
Until till the time we are trying to contact with Pawan sir, let me just give you some assistance about tomorrow's assignment submission. So for the submission of assignment, we will send the template and the email ID where you have to submit the assignments, and you have to submit the assignment tomorrow. So we will be sharing the template for the assignment in groups also, and also I will try to display that if the time permits, I will also try to display the email ID to you in the group. Just for the time being, due to network connection, we have lost the contact with our presenter. In the meanwhile, we are trying to contact him. So as soon as he will be back, we will have his presentation, and after that I will just show you the assignments format.
center is joining, I'm just highlighting on incident response system. As sir is talking that incident response system is an effective mechanism for reducing ad hoc measures in response. It envisages a composite team with attend all the possible response requirements. Designates the officer duties and get them trained in their respective roles. It also emphasizes the need for the proper of various activities for better planning and analysis. This will create and confusion during the response phases. Everyone will know what needs done and who will do it and who is in command. So in gist all about the IRS, I'm not expert in this field, but I'm sharing a small thing. And if anybody is interested in IRS and mock exercises, you can go NDMA website where you can get all the study materials, guidelines, and training calendar for IRS and mock exercises for different sectors. Is sir join us?
Actually, ma'am, I think there is some problem with his system. So he has asked for a few minutes. In the meanwhile, I am trying to contact him. If possible, I will bring him back. So due to some current issue and network issue, so we are trying to get in touch with him. Just give us few minutes, ma'am. Then I will let you the update.
Regarding the first, all the participants received the email on one where you have to identify the hazard and vulnerability for your surrounding, for your work areas, or you can take your selected area.
Hello, Dr. Karjit Kaur. Actually, I just had a word with him. So there is some problem with his system. He has conveyed his regret, and he said that he will try to contact tomorrow. If possible, he will try to present the same presentation tomorrow. So I will request you kindly end the today's session and do the concluding remarks and all.
Okay. Sorry for the inconvenienced cause. With this, we have come to a technical session. Gratitude to Major General Manoj Kumar Bindal, ED NIDM, and Shri Atul Garg, ED Head IPSHEM ONGC, to collaborate and 3 days training program. I extend my thanks to distinguished speakers, Dr. Mote, Chief Scientist and ACSIR Academy Professor, Fire Research Laboratory, Central Building Research Institute, Roorkee, Lieutenant Colonel Dinesh Chandra, Director NIDM, Dr. Pavan Kumar Singh, Joint Advisor NDMA, and Shri Anupam Srivastava, Commandant from 5th Battalion NDRF, to enlighten us with and knowledge. I also extend my thanks to Professor Surya Prakash for providing innovative and encouraging environment, moral guidance, continuous enthusiasm, and valuable suggestion. I of appreciation to Shri Sanjay Kumar, Mr. Alok Kumar, ONGC IPSHEM for coordination and support. Last but not least, I am thankful to GMRD team, Mr. Raju Thapa, coordinator, and Mr. Anil Katath, our IT team, Shobhit and Balaji for making this event successful. And on behalf of NIDM and IPSHEM ONGC Goa, we wish all the participants a healthy and safe life. Stay healthy, stay safe. 2 gaj ki duri zaruri to fight against COVID-19 pandemic. Thank you. Want to share anything?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Just on the concluding remarks, thank you for moderation, Dr. Harjeet Kaur. And just for the kind information of the participants, the same link you have to use to join us tomorrow for the training program. The assignment that has been assigned to you, I hope everybody has a copy of that. We have sent that. So you have to do the assignment, and you have to send it in this email ID, elearning.nidm at the outlook.com, and the date is, sorry for the wrong date. You have to submit it after tomorrow. And the title of the mail should be Basic Training on Disaster Management. You can take a screenshot of that, and we will also try to share the same details where you have to send in group also. So you don't need to worry for that. And this was I think you have got this assignment of the day one, like what you have to do, the hazards and the vulnerability. And for today also, I would just like to request all the participants to mention few suggestions that we can take. Like once you have identified the hazard and vulnerability, so I will request you to kindly highlight some suggestions or future scope which can be taken in your area. So thank you very much for joining us for today, and we are extremely sorry for the inconvenience caused due to the last sessions. So we will try to get back to him in tomorrow's session. So I hope we will meet again tomorrow. So use the same link tomorrow. Thank you very much.